Thank you, Jennifer. Beautiful. Good morning. My message this morning is the science of the absolute, hence the outfit, black and white. Because although we know that God is absolute, is first cause of all creation, is the one only, unlimited, unconditional presence, we know that it is flowing through each one of us at the relative. So Holmes and Troward both say the relative is the place where the absolute is flowing through, and the relative is simply and the opposite for the absolute. But anyway, it's the science of the absolute, and anyone who was here Wednesday was probably wondering what on earth was I going to do with this, but wanted to given our brilliant speaker on Wednesday night, pretty well, Wade Woodridge, pretty well said, there's no such thing as religious science. There's no such thing as the science of religion. Okay, so let's see if I can give him a counter thought. Definitely not an argument. But before I start, the whole month is about transformation and evolution. And the writer of today's notes, Reverend Carolyn Douglas, who is in the Illuminata Church, the Illuminata Center in San Jose, sent this little piece along. And she said, use it if you will. So the grandfather was going by his granddaughter's door at night, and there she was kneeling, praying. But her prayer was simply the alphabet. And so he stopped and he said, honey, what are you doing? She said, well, I couldn't think of what to ask for, so I just let God put it together. It'll evolve, right? Okay, now let's see if there's anything here. Yes, it's on. There we go. Okay. That's funny. So it's the science. I found Wade's actual, that was the symbol he used for science, of what it says in that white box is absolute, but it disappeared, which is pretty funny. White on white, yeah. Okay. So Ernest Holmes said, every living soul is a point of God consciousness, immutable, allness power now, fearlessly announce that you are the truth and nothing but the truth. That was what the affirmation was. I am the truth and nothing but the truth. Let's say it again. I am the truth and nothing but the truth. How does that feel? Is it the truth for you when you say it? Good. I am the truth and nothing but the truth. Meaning that I am the point of power. Jennifer, that's Stephen Covey. And what he actually says is the point of power is the present moment, which is between the stimulus and response. It's a really good reminder that it's the only place of power is in the present moment, right now. Right now is the only time that we can experience the divine. We can't experience in the future or in the past. And we're just wasting our energy if we go to try to do that. But on the other hand, we can discover what our thinking has been when we look deeply within ourselves. So of all our spiritual practices, probably one of the most significant is the practice of journaling, of capturing what it is that we've been putting our attention on, what's been going on in my life, because always what I'm seeing is the result of consciousness unfolding. It can be no other way. So whatever I'm seeing out here, whatever friends I have, whatever experiences I have, all begins in here. Same for you. There are no exceptions to this. It's just simply the nature of life. And that is part of the science of the absolute. And one of the things that Carolyn Douglas suggests that we do and Ernest Holmes has an article called The Experiment of Faith. And it's actually making our faith, making it an experiment. But that means really, really, really noticing what you're thinking about. Really, really, really noticing what you're believing. And as Wade said on Wednesday night, it's not easy to continuously be awake to where our thoughts are going, where our mind is going, and the words that we are either speaking aloud or even thinking. The pictures that we're bringing into our life. And this, I think this is the time, as I said last week, that we're called really to use this principle, to depend on it, to stand on it, and not let our attention get dragged elsewhere. Like probably one or two other people here, I was glued to the TV for quite a bit last week, wondering what was going to be the next thing after the 59 missiles struck Syria, the compound there. If you hadn't heard about that, good for you. I'm glad you're not going to watch the news, but I had heard about it. And after hearing about it, then what do I need to do to my consciousness to remind myself that right where I am, I'm first cause of my own situation, my own peace of mind, my own well-being, just as each one of you is in charge of your own peace, your own well-being. And so we could go to the outer, I have no control of the outer. Well, your outer is a reflection of the inner. One of the things, so we'll take an experiment in faith. Oh, I don't want to go past that. So what's true of the macrocosm is true of the microcosm. And it's okay if you don't see that little bit about it. It just says what you see on the screen on your right is the universe. What you see on your screen to the left, which looks very similar, is a neuron from a mouse's brain. So from the very tiniest to the greatest, there is similarity. What it looks like. If you look at the human body and go inward and look at the cosmos and go outward, it's similar. Why? Because there's only one life. And we are an expression of the divine. We are the microcosm of the macrocosm. We are the thing that I consider myself to be, and I'm pointing to my body, but I hate to say it this way, but I'm much bigger than my body. And so are you, and it's a compliment. So I'm not contained within the bones and the flesh. I'm greater because the real part of me is spirit. The real part of me has never been born, will never die. It's eternal, timeless, perfect and whole in every way. And we're called to remember that and remember that we're creating our lives through what we're choosing to put our attention upon. We're creating either well-being or chaos. In the meditation this morning, we were taken to the awareness of our breath and just to notice, is our breath calm or is it chaotic? And even from that small noticing, you can extrapolate that the I am, that is the holy word that you are speaking, is either at peace or is in turmoil, conflict, chaos. So pay attention to your life and choose what it is that you want. Choose. Do you realize that we have this mighty moving power within us? It's not some power. Holmes says this over and over and over, and almost Every spiritual teacher says the same thing in one way or another. It's not a little bit of power. It's not a puny little power. It's all power, omnipotent. And it isn't know some things. It's omniscient. It knows all things. And it's not present sometimes. It's omnipresent. When we can wrap our minds around how great this is, that not only is it available, we live in it. Holmes says in Love and Law, think of yourself not just being one with, because that means you can separate yourself. But you're living in it. It is expressing through you because it is who you are. Practice that in your prayer time, in your affirmation time, in your meditation time. Ricky Byers Beckwith has a wonderful song, "The breath of God is breathing me." The breath of God is breathing you right now. And then her next line is, "And resting in the breath of God, I know that all is well." What a powerful statement. Resting in the breath of God, I know that all is well. Right now, I know that all is well. Right now, I know and know that I know. If you've been, okay. So this is what Ernest says. Ernest says, science is absolute knowledge insofar as the facts of science are demonstrable. Wade said something very similar to that. Science is knowledge of facts based upon a proven principle. So it's time for us to really prove that principle. Prove it again and again and again. We live and move and have our being in the life of the divine. And so from this moment, from no matter what's going on in Syria, what's going on in the United States, what's going on in Washington and Sacramento, here in San Clemente, no matter what's going on where, each one of us can be choosing to live a life of peace, a life that makes a difference, a life of contribution, a life of wholeness, a life of well-being. But it begins with us deciding that we are not victims to our circumstances. We're not victims to anything outside of us, but we are first cause to all creation. Keep pressing this, thinking something more is going to happen. Okay, here it is. And I know you can't see this, but I wanted to show you, because when we truly understand that we're one with this ineffable, limitless, all power, the absolute, what we realize is there are no boundaries. There are no boundaries. That we are that thing itself that permeates all things. As Ernest says in Love and Law, that's what allowed Jesus to go through walls or walk on water. Well, I don't know if that's true, but I know that it is the awareness of our oneness that leads us to understand, okay, the ultimate metaphysical secret, if we dare to state it so simply, is that there are no boundaries in the universe. Boundaries are illusions, products not of reality, but of the way we map and edit reality. Now, I know quantum physicists will agree with this. And while it is time to map out the territory, it is fatal to confuse the two. Not the same thing. That's from Ken Wilber. Those of you who are Jim Lockhart fans know that he's a big Ken Wilber fan and may have already seen this quote. And then, so one of the ideas in the notes is we need to be constant. Some of us, if you're used to a spiritual practice that say first thing in the morning, but then the rest of the day is filled with negativity and worry and fear, then you're likely going to get the result of the worry and fear. We need to stay awake to our spiritual beingness, to the truth of ourselves, and be constant. Constant, determined, positive, certain, and faithful. So if I am, meaning that I'm practicing 24/7, I'm practicing all of my waking hours. I'm not letting my attention go into fear. I'm not letting my attention to go into worry. I'm keeping my mind fixed on what I do want, the truth of being. I'm keeping my mind fixed on the truth that God's presence is the one power that is causing all great things and all good things. I keep my attention focused on peace and peace of mind, well-being, right outcome. No matter what happens, and I'm looking out and I'm seeing many of you have already proven this many times. You've proven it in your health, you've proven it in your wealth, you've proven it in your relationships, that when you have a fixed idea and you know it's a good idea that harms no one, then it must come into experience or demonstration. It must be demonstrated. I expect to demonstrate the principle. So put your hand on your heart. Feel that heartbeat. You don't have to make your heart beat. It's already beating. And repeat after me. I'm constant, determined, positive, certain, and faithful now. I expect to demonstrate the principle. And that was good. You didn't have to stumble over the word principle. You did it just right. Perfect. I expect to demonstrate the principle. And then you will. And then you will. And then we are. And that's why you surround yourself by like-minded people. That's why you come here on Sundays and Wednesdays and go to classes, not because it's such a hard principle to grasp, but to keep yourself uplifted and surrounded by the awareness of truth. The science of the absolute depends on you. Depends on you. I was thinking about really encouraging all of us this week, which is called the Holy Week in all of Christianity. So this is Palm Sunday, and it's good to have a nice big crowd here on Palm Sunday. And next week, of course, is Easter. So this week is Holy Week, because it would be the week of Jesus, first of all, of his celebration, and then of his persecution, and ultimately his death and resurrection. What a great week. What a great week for us to put in mind our principle, to decide what is to take charge, to be that point of power and say, yes, I'm choosing today and this week to be happy, to be secure, to have peace of mind, to practice engaging, being connected, to know that I know the truth and the truth has set me free. Because that is the truth. You know, when you say it, you feel free. You know the truth, and the truth has set me free. And of course, as soon as I said that, I heard Jeff Lang saying it, but first of all, it's going to piss you off a lot. Thank you, Reverend Jeff, for implanting that in my mind. It will set us free. It does set us free, and it's setting us free right now. And I want to close with Marianne Williamson's famous quote, because this is really accurate from my point of view. What she says, this is from A Return to Love. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. This is the day, this is the week. Let's practice the science of the absolute, stepping out of fear and into faith, and so it is. Diane's going to set us up, and I'm going to pray. So let's just get ready.
Come with me into this resting place. Let your heart be free. No more worries, no more fear. Only God is here. Let it go. Release your breath. Free your mind and fly into spirit, into peace, into the heart of God, into spirit, into love, into the heart of God.
Into the heart of God, from the heart of God, I am. I speak this word knowing that truly there is only one life, one mind, one beloved presence. It is everywhere present and it's all power, unconditioned and unconditional. It is that divine love that washes us clean of any false beliefs. It is that which awakens our oneness, our unity. And right here and now, knowing my oneness with it, I speak my word for everyone here. I'm going to speak it in the first person, and anything that doesn't fit for you, just let it wash over you, wash away from you. Accept what fits and leave the rest. And this is what I know is true. I know that the wholeness that I am, the wholeness of life, the well-being that is the perfect pattern of livingness within me. It's God's expression of itself, the absolute perfect pattern of life. And it imbues every cell, every tissue, every function, and every fiber of my being, spiritual, mental, physical, emotional. I know and accept that perfect pattern right here and right now. I accept perfect health, vitality, energy, and aliveness. I accept that perfect expression of self for the me that I am right now. And I accept it for all other beings, knowing that each one is part of the fabric of the whole. And for all of this, I give great thanks. I know that I am that thing that is the prospering power of the divine. And I accept for myself demonstrations of that prosperity in every good way. I know that prosperity flows to me, for it is that divine circulation that flows through all good. All good comes to me, and I circulate that all good. It's natural and normal and easy. And furthermore, I know that this word is for all beings who have worries or concerns. And so I know that those worries are just dissolved by God's love, by God's strength, by God's power and presence. And the way is shown clearly and easily and brightly. And furthermore, I know for every relationship, that every relationship is a love relationship that is strengthened by this word. Whether it's a friendship or an intimacy, all of it is God's expression of being God with God. And I speak this word for creativity, that creativity is simply God nudging itself through me and through each one as new ideas, as divine ideas, as new ways of being. And I'm so grateful for that creativity. I'm grateful for it all. And with my heart filled with gratitude, I simply say, thank you, God. And I place this word in God's hands, which are, of course, not hands, but law. I place this word in God's law. I know God has it. It's complete. I can let go, for I know that it is already done. And please help me anchor it by saying with me, and so it is.